The face seems to be born to be in the ultimate movie that directors always dream of, without dead angles at every angle, and everything is beautiful. Especially when she bent down. He felt his heart jump out of his chest, as if those bright red lips were about to touch. At Mr. Lu Chao, his heart was beating wildly. He had never had much contact with his daughter before. Feeling his hands, the softness of her resting on his cheek made his heart flutter. He felt like he was standing in the middle of nowhere. The reaction was to feel the cold empty of the eye drops dripping into the eyes, immediately soothing the feeling of discomfort. Remember to keep your eyes healthy to avoid infection, I knew, and finished speaking. She gave me the bottle of eye drops in your hand just now. Looks confused. What is the problem? The publication required to edit the text. He was secret of the idea, listening to Lu Chao's explanation. Shen Lemeng leaned lightly. The person who pays attention to your computer screen, does you mind if you take a look at it? Can you help me refer to Lu Chao a little? Immediately shook his head without bothering at all. And then he realized Shen Lemeng's talent. Indeed, he didn't know how to read. It is impossible to be a good boss. Shen Lemeng's opinion is extremely unique, opening him up to many new ways of thinking to help him. Solving the problem with the support of Shen Lemeng Lu Chao, as if there was more inspiration to write seamlessly without feeling seeing a stalemate anymore. But you also have to know how to balance work and rest. Lu Chao can't just sit in one place, writing forever. With Shen Lemeng's help, I want to respond by cooking a meal to thank you if you want to eat anything day. Now I'm going to go to the kitchen. Lu Chao asked. Shen Lemeng's lips smirked slightly. Yes. Wellington beef. Lu Chao laughed. So is making it difficult for him. Wellington beef is very difficult to make. Requires high cooking skills, but at least it is easier than Buddha dancing. Tuong, and luckily he knows how to make Wellington cows. Shen Lemeng surprise. Really? You know how to do it? Really? You're just joking a little. I didn't expect you to really know that making this Wellington beef dish is quite a complicated dish. Even a professional chef has to work hard to complete if Lu Chao can do it. It is true that he is very good at cooking. Lu Zhou nodded. He likes to study food, and also likes to eat well. The first step to enjoy life is to know how to enjoy British cuisine, often taking advantage of free time to learn how to cook, especially when looking at others. I feel a great joy at first. I was just joking, but if you really knowing how to do it, I will have the opportunity to enjoy it today. And the smile on Shen Lemeng's lips will be even more radiant. But I need to buy some ingredients. I will have to go to the supermarket. Wait a while, Lu Zhou said. Shen Lemeng was so excited. Let me go. With me. By the way, I also need to buy some things. Lu Zhou agreed to. And so I drove Shen Lemeng's sports car with. She went to the supermarket near it. But when she stopped the car in the parking lot, a small truck suddenly parked right in front of them. Lu Zhou's reaction was to see the thugs with blonde hair jumping off the car. Their target was very clear. They were heading straight towards Shen Lemeng. Lu Zhou's face slammed. He clenched his hands into fists. Seeing them approaching with an attitude majestic, full of malice, he immediately rushed out to block in front of Shen Lemeng, questioning them what they were going to do. Get out of the way. We just want Shen Lemeng to follow us for a trip. The oligarch kept shouting at Lu Zhou afterwards, signaling to their juniors. The military disciples quickly rushed forward. Obviously they intended to kidnap Shen Le. Dreamed Shen Li's eyes were full of hate, like a rose of pride standing firm without any fear. In front of them, Lu Zhou rushed forward like a leopard, determined to protect Shen Lemeng. His eyes were suffocating. Anger and determination. You can't take her away. The oligarch laughs coldly and doesn't know how to measure his own strength until now. As a hero to save the beauty. The juniors immediately surrounded Lu Chao An, frowning, clearly feeling the danger lurking. If he fights one-on-one, he still has a chance. But when he is surrounded by too many people, he feels completely disadvantaged. Punches like a rain of hammers fell on his body. He released me, Shen Lemeng screamed. She was dragged hard by the thugs. The small truck. She struggled angrily, even tried to fight back. But her strength was compared to those of strong men. It's not worth the fact that the car door is about to close if this small truck runs away. Shen Lemeng will be in danger. Lu Zhou will not give up hope. Finally, he gritted his teeth and clung to the door of the big brother's car. Hey, it's too stubborn. A junior complains about what to do, standing there, hitting him. The oligarch let hold to order the thugs to rush in and punch Lu Chao to the pull. He couldn't help but hurt his whole body. Nervous because of the pain in the car, Shen Lemeng's eyes were red with anger. She shouted, I'll go, according to you, but spare him. Tears began to roll down her cheeks. She couldn't bear to see Lu Chao was brutally beaten and suffered injuries. I will protect you. Lu Chao won't give up. If you let her be. Taking it right in front of his eyes. He will never forgive himself with a strong belief that Lu Zhou holds anything within reach and threw at the thugs like a wild animal rushing towards him. Even though he was covered in wounds and bleeding, the intention of giving up on him, his eyes lit up with resilience. He grabbed Shen Lemeng's hand tightly and tried to pull her away. But he did not realize that the thug behind him was holding a sharp fruit-peeling knife and rushed over and slashed hard at Mr. Lu Chao's back. The scream tore through the sky. Shen Lemeng stared in horror at the sight of Lu Zhou falling in her arms, flowing profusely on his back. The white shirt that had been soaked in blood looked terrifying. Shen Lemeng felt his mind empty. She couldn't believe that he had fallen so weak in her arms. That scene made her eyes red with blood. Don't be afraid that he was still here even though he was seriously injured. He still tried to use his body to protect her. Tears flowed from Shen Li's eyes. Unstoppable dream. Seeing the emotion stream, the thugs were about to slash Lu Zhou's body. Inside Shen Lemeng's body exploded. A huge source of power. Who let you touch him? Shen Lemeng roared in anger. You can die. But absolutely do not allow anyone to touch a single strand of his hair. Even if it means risking her life. She will make them pay. She grabbed the thug's wrist in everyone's astonished eyes. She grabbed the stunned Lu Zhou knife. Witnessing everything, she frantically stabbed. Her beautiful face now carries a cruel look despite the screams of pain. The pain resounded, causing others to use her. But she still did not move. In her eyes, only the bloodthirst remained. The other soldier tried to approach. But Ms. Gun gripped the knife tightly and swung it so that they did not dare to approach for fear of being hit by the. At that moment, the sound of the police car horn sounded. And the thugs panicked when, seeing the police approaching, they hurriedly jumped into the minivan and tried to flee. But they were not as fast as the police. And soon the police surrounded them. The thugs were handcuffed one by one when the police saw a thug lying in the pool of blood and Shen Lemeng held the knife covered in blood in their hands. And they couldn't help but be amazed. This woman exploded with such great power in the wind. Her eyes were red, and she shouted in a voice of command. Lu Zhou arrived at the hospital. When Lu Zhou was taken to the ambulance, he saw the cold woman standing next to her. She was speckled, smudged and trembling. The usual strong woman, now drenched in tears, held his hand tightly and pressed it against her beautiful face. Sorry, it's all my fault. Lu Chao's heart aches. What are you saying? This has nothing to do with you. He suddenly felt very sorry for her. He didn't want her to blame herself. Shen Lemeng's red lips gently kissed her back. His hand, her eyes were still full of regret. Her voice trembled with emotion. No. It wasn't. If it weren't for Miss Lu Chao wouldn't be hurt when he tried to save her. Tears fell on the back of Lu Zhouying's hand. Looking at the woman in front of him, crying like rain, suddenly felt heartbroken. Lu Zhou clumsily wiped away the tears on her. Shen Lemeng trembled and comforted. Just wait a little longer. Coming to the hospital, she was extremely worried when she looked at Lu Zhou more and more. Gradually weakened, she was really afraid that Lu Zhou had been injured too badly and could leave a legacy. Just think about what she did to him. Her gaze became colder and more cruel than ever. She was sure to make them pay the price. Will definitely make them regret hurting Lu Zhou today. While at the Chin Chin family's house, wearing a short French skirt, she walked in front of Aunt Auntie's housekeeper and saw how this dress was suitable to meet her father. Cheng Jiawei's mother did not have a butler, nodding very beautifully and appropriately. However, her eyebrows still frowning. I have thought carefully. I don't plan to go to see his family. Butler, knowing well that Qin Chen still couldn't forget Lu Zhou. She also knew that since she was with Cheng family, she, not really happy. Qin Qian told the housekeeper that I knew everything. But I wanted to marry him before. Only later. Hey, by chance, we broke up. Now I'm just doing what I should have done a long time ago. Which is right. She had given up hope that the 6 continents would not need her anymore if she was still attached to him. Wasn't it too low on herself? Why couldn't she be so timid? She hated being looked down on by Lu Zhou. The daughter must keep her pride. She doesn't want Lu Zhou to think that she can't live without him. Clearly Lu Zhou Chao is just a substitute for her true feelings. Based on where he can control her. She doesn't need Lu Chao. It's not that Lu Zhou didn't choose her. She saw Qin Chen Xiao's stubbornness. The butler could only sigh at her, expecting that the relationship between the mistress and Lu Chao became so tense. Obviously, the two used to get along very well in the past. But now it makes people regret it when the housekeeper is braiding Qin Xiao's phone. She sounded the announcement. Looking at the screen, the butler's face immediately became extremely unsightly. The mistress, she looked at Qin Chen. Xian glanced at it, but immediately felt as if lightning had struck her, making it difficult for her to breathe. She immediately stood up from her chair. No longer able to keep her calm at their old house, the night fell on the day. The darker it gets. Cheng's mother smiled and told the maid that she remembered to clean every corner of the house and don't forget to keep it. The food in the kitchen is always heated, don't let Mrs. Xiao nod. The maid nodded. Yes. I know. The hostess. Just leave it alone. Cheng's mother smiled with satisfaction. And finally felt more relieved. She was still checking every little detail and was afraid that if Qin Xiao came and there was any negligence, it would be very embarrassing. Layout Cheng looked at Cheng Jiahu and asked Chen Xiao. Where is it? Why hasn't you come to the housemate yet? You must be on the road. This is rush hour. You may be stuck in traffic. You must be. It will come soon. Father Trin reproached. I should have gone to pick her up. Why should I let her go alone? Cheng Jiahu smiled. I also know that I don't have a driver's license at the moment. I have a heart, but I don't have the strength to do more. The private driver took it to his mother and quickly blamed him for what he did was not his fault after all. She was agreeing to come to see us. It also means that good things are coming. And Father Cheng nodded solemnly. That's right. That's why. Now that he could only succeed and not fail. He turned to look at Cheng Jiawei. Had the marriage proposal been prepared? Today is a marriage proposal, isn't it? Cheng Jia smiled. Right. I don't think the marriage with her can last any longer. Avoid long nights and dreams. So everything is as fast as possible today. I will definitely arrange a marriage proposal. My father agrees. Okay, just follow your plan and do it. Is a pity after so many twists and turns. We finally come back. From the starting point, Mother Eel is also not satisfied. No one says no. It's like letting others lose a little part, if not Chen Xiao is not so much that the girl who has spent a lifetime her husband stared at Cheng Jia, who at her child in the past insisted on leaving. Cheng Jia sighed. Mom, I think you want to do it. You are forced to do it, who knows later. Hey, something like this happened again. Dad Jung saw the tense atmosphere and shouted loudly, it's already happened. Don't pick up more. The important thing is to live well in the future so that you can call Xiao, see where she is, and Trin Jia. Who said that he called Qin Xiao? But the goat's head on the other side only sounded the alarm that no one would hear him call again. Still no one picked up the phone. It's really strange. Why didn't she listen to the phone? Cheng Jiahu expressed. It seemed confusing, because there had never been such a situation before. Why did Trin's parents see that their son was worried and asked? It's okay, just wait a little longer. So Cheng Jiahu didn't want his parents to worry. Trying to smile, it was getting darker and darker every second. As the minutes passed, the dishes on the table were reheated again and again. But there was still no sign. Chen Xiao's father frowned. Cheng Jiawei's father had a solemn expression. And his eyes looked at him with a stern look. What's wrong with him? He was also embarrassed to be allowed to climb the tree. Cheng Jiahu also felt embarrassed. He didn't expect the incident to happen again. This is what happened to her. You want to let me go to the Qin family's house to see? Try to make a phone call. I can't report to the family. I had to personally go find my father and say okay. Go ask me. Seeing that his parents were unhappy, Cheng Jiahu had no choice but to go alone to find out what had happened in the end. However, when he went to the Qin family's house with the help of the driver, he discovered that Qin had meditated, leaving for a long time. He asked the butler in a daze. And then the butler, with a grey face, unconsciously sprayed, not knowing how to answer Cheng Jiahu in the corridor of Shen Lemeng Hospital, standing in a daze first. The door of the operating room. Her beautiful face was stained with a few streaks of blood, and her eyebrows were furrowed tightly. Obviously, worried about the situation inside, Lu Zhou was taken to the operating room for treatment. She did not at all knowing what the situation is inside. There is only the sound of hurried footsteps left sounding to Lu Zhou. This is the question. The lead sounded as if he wanted to tear everything apart. Shen Lemeng lowered his eyes to see a girl who was going crazy. The girl's eyes were red. The anger that filled her distorted face was no longer as elegant as it was when she was having surgery. Shen Lemeng only said. It was a simple sentence. But the other party's anger did not calm down because of that. On the contrary, she blamed Shen Lemeng, the enemy, even more. You want to harm her so much. You can't stay away from him. Don't implicate him. Chen Xiao really hated Shen Lemeng's approach to Lu Zhou if it weren't for the news about Shen Lemeng almost being arrested. Toad. And if the housekeeper didn't believe her eyes and found that the injured man in the photo was Lu Zhou, she probably wouldn't know anything about Qin Xiaoxiao now. Quickly find out which hospital Lu Zhou was in. And then hurriedly arrived. Right now, Lu Zhou is still alive and dead. On the cold operating table. Qin Xiaoxiao's mood was also half cold. And his anger towards Shen Lemeng also flared up. Burned more intensely. However, in the face of Qin Chen's insults, Shen Lemeng only coldly smirked. At least he still has a place beside me, and you can't even give him a place to shade the sun. Right? Qin Chen's face was white. She clenched. Her fist suppressed her anger. What Shen Lemeng said was the truth. After she and Lu Zhou divorced, she couldn't approach him anymore. As a friend Cheng Jiahu would. To be a member of other people's family will find it ridiculous to be a lover because she already has a new boyfriend. Lu Zhou's position and status will become extremely awkward for her. But when she sees the light, Shen Lemeng's sarcastic eyes and Qin Chen meditation paper's heart raised a feeling of reluctance and strong defeat. Not wanting to bow to Shen Lemeng, she stubbornly replied, I will naturally have a solution without you. Outsiders must be worried. Qin Chenxian raised his head proudly and proudly replied that my relationship and Lu Zhou surpassed all of them. I can say that he has been with me for N years of those 5 years. The depression is very severe. He is even more worried than I am every day. He carefully changes my medication. We have watched the sunrise at 5 a.m. and watch the afternoon sunset. When I cry, he wipes my tears. When he sad me to be with comfort for taking care of me, he didn't quit the video game that he favorite just because of a sentence of my favorite. He can train my account to play games for girls when I want. Draw the card to get the skin even if I have to recharge money. He insisted on helping me get my first cup of milk tea in the fall because of him. He bought me a phone case with his cream because I made him never change the phone, because if he bought electricity, the new voice will have to replace my case. So he doesn't want me to lie down and sleep until the afternoon. The person who patiently called me up and told me to eat breakfast. He knew that my stomach was not good. And he didn't want me to be stoned. At first, Qin Xiaoxiao only wanted to show off the memories between her and Lu Zhou. But when it came to the memories, happiness already through her eyes. She suddenly felt bitter in the past days. Although there were tears, but there was also a lot of joy. Why only in the blink of an eye, that joy disappeared again. Qin Xiaoxiao's eyes were red. But she still tried to keep her appearance of a winner standing in front of Shen Lemeng. She thought that Shen Lemeng would go crazy because of jealousy but didn't expect it. Shen Lemeng kept a calm expression. So why did she still lose him in the end? Hearing Shen Lei's taunts, Qin Chen's expression immediately stiffened. She couldn't help but smile. I didn't lose him. I was just Qin Chenxiao began to feel unconfident. Shen Li's eyes were as sharp as knives. No matter how you justify it, it's still true with me. He's dangerous. But at least he's not as injured as when he's with you. I am able to take responsibility for him to the end. And you laughed coldly. You have absolutely no character. Shenla suddenly felt a sharp pain in her chest. Shen Li's every word was like sharp needles piercing her heart. She bowed sadly. Low-eyed clenched his crimson lips and stared at Shen Lemeng as the two of them confronted fiercely. Both of them, not wanting to give up. At that moment, a nurse from the operating room hurriedly walked out. And Shen Lemeng asked Qin impatiently. Thien was equally worried. The nurse sadly replied that he had lost too much blood. And he needed an urgent blood transfusion. But at the moment the bloodline that matched his blood type was lacking. And he had to transfer blood from another branch. Shen Lemeng immediately pointed. The arm is determined to take my blood. I am the blood type. Oh, Qin is short-sighted and does not give in. I can also be blood type. The nurse turned to Shen Lemeng. Said that the patient is blood type AB. You can give him a blood transfusion. Invite you to come here frequently. Chen Xian was stunned looking at the nurse leading Shen Lemeng. She angrily slammed against the wall. Her eyes glued to the shadow of her back. Shen Lemeng didn't expect Shen Lemeng to gain an advantage in the courtroom. Lemeng lay down. The nurse started working. I will take 200 milliliters of blood first. But I will examine it. Lemeng resolutely took it away. Her eyes locked tightly on the man who was in a daze because of the anesthesia in the distance. I was okay. Saving people is more important than that. Too much will weaken people after all. She is the daughter, that the nurse said a little sympathetically. But Shen Lemeng was very steadfast. I could bear the most in terms of supplementation. And the nurse looked at Shen Lemeng so persistently. In his heart, he couldn't help but admire Lu Zhou. He was lucky to have a girl who was sick. Because of him like that. Ordinary people draw 200 milliliters of blood are already uncomfortable. But she is still willing to withdraw more. Shen Lemeng could clearly feel the blood leaving her body. But she was still very calm. Her beautiful face was the body, showing endurance even though it was in pain when Shen Lemeng was drained of all her blood and stood up. She felt her eyes darken. Can't stand. Fortunately, the nurse was in time to help her. It's okay. It's okay. Shen Lemeng smiled faintly at the nurse. He was fine, but the nurse nodded. After all, he was out of danger. Shen Lemeng let out a sigh of relief. Feeling his sacrifice was rewarded as a pregnant woman. Drawing so much blood made her feel very uncomfortable. Her mind was dizzy. Body was bitterly cold. But Shen Lemeng did not regret it. At least Lu Zhou was stable. Lu Zhou was transferred to the VIP room of the hospital. On his back was given several stitches and bandages after being injected with anesthesia. He was still in a coma with his wrist. Was still receiving infusions when Qin Xiaoxiao ran into the hospital room and saw the man Tuan Tu lying there. There was still a little bit of vitality. And her tears immediately filled her eyes full of repentance. I'm sorry. I'm late. Qin Chen hugged his mouth. Feeling extremely distressed. Looking Lu Zhou's weak look. Her heart was in extreme pain if she could choose to let her lie there. She didn't want to see it. Lu Zhou was injured. Qin Xiaoxiao sat by the bed. Her eyes were as red as rabbit's eyes. Her memories went back to the days. In the past, every time she was sick, Lu Chao was there to take care of her. She didn't expect it now. Now that the position of the two of them had changed. Remembering Shen Lemeng's words that she had abandoned him, that hurt her. When Qin Xiaoxiao was crying so much that he became a person full of tears. The man on the bed woke up. Seeing Qin Shenxian, he slightly twitched his lips. Why are you here? Lu Zhou, very surprised, tried to sit up, but the sharp pain made him blush. Qin Xiaoshen's face hurriedly. Tell me not. Sit up, just lie still. He was still injured, but Lu Zhou nodded, trying to keep his expression calmer than his eyes. Looking behind, Qin Xiaoxiao seemed to be looking for something. Sister has a brother. Shen Le dreamed his head before kissing. Lu Zhou still remembered that Shen Lemeng was beside him and got into the ambulance. Now the person in front of him is. The other person was naturally Qin Xiaoxiao was immersed in Lu Zhou's breath, enjoying the warmth that only existed between the two of them. But Lu Zhou's question immediately shattered her beautiful dream. She is so important. It's not enough to have you. Well, why do you have to care if she's here? Qin Xiaoxiao is jealous of her. It's really unhappy that Lu Zhou just woke up and went to find Shen Lemeng. Shen Lemeng had something good. But besides money, what was worthy of attracting Lu's attention? Xiao is clear that the person who has overcome all difficulties with him in the past 3 years is her. And the person who has been by his side all those years is also her. How can a woman who suddenly appeared interfere in their lives? Lu Zhou realized Qin Xiao's discomfort. But he didn't panic, but calmly replied that she saved him. It's normal for him to be worried about her. After listening to it, Qin Xiaoxiao was even more angry and saved him. It was obvious that he was injured. Because of saving her, she was really the one who brought his bad luck. You should stay away from her today. You were slashed. Who knows what will happen next time? What else will happen? In her eyes full of worry. Immediately grabbed Lu Zhou's hand. I didn't pray for anything. I just hope that you are in peace. Lu Zhou looked at Qin Zhen and meditate. Need to take care of himself. He is a little unfamiliar after all. In the past, he was always around Qin Chen Xiao's pants. Immediately worried for her, and she obviously enjoyed his attention in his heart. Now there was no emotion like before. Just withdrew her hand from her grip. She's not the kind of person you think you're hurting this time because of your carelessness. Related to her the moment he realized that Lu Zhou was protecting the other girl. Long Qin was short-sighted. The pain he knew. How long has she understood her? And before she was familiar with Qin Xiao's question, Lu Zhou only smiled and mocked him. I've been with you for a long time. But I don't understand you either. But now the person who is with me is you. And Qin Xiaoxiao is almost about to collapse, her voice trembling as if he wanted to cry. Lu Zhou frowned tightly. It was Shen Lemeng who took him to Shen Lemeng Hospital. Shen Lemeng at. Why do you always mention her? Qin Chen's eyes are red. She is so distressed that she wants to cry. If you were present at that time, you can also take me to the hospital. How many years have you known each other? Maybe it's still a few short days. With her, shouldn't you mention me all the time and everywhere? Then what will Cheng Jiahu think of? Brother Lu Zhou coldly responded with eyes like frost, gritted his teeth and said, "I'm sorry. I just want to be with you." Chen regretted it very much. She really just wanted to have some private time with Lu Zhou so that he could pay more attention to her, rather than being distracted by others. Isn't it so difficult? Qin Xiaoxiao felt in his heart. A wound so deep that it hurts like bleeding. I will arrange the best care team. You don't need to worry outside. Shen Lemeng's cold voice sounded, only to see Shen Lemeng, who had finished dressing up and changed into a white dress, elegantly standing against the doorframe. Her exquisite white face was like a flawless flower. Her sharp eyes were like the blade swept over Qin. Chen was a little stunned. But he still didn't give up in this situation. I can't walk. Moreover, I don't have any problems. But at that moment, her phone rang. She turned off the phone. But the phone continued to ring. And that scene completely caught Lu Zhou's eyes. You look busy. Qin Xiaoxiao awkwardly bit his lip tightly. It's okay, it's nothing important to go. Leave. He was sleepy. And then Lu Zhou replied coldly. He decided not to turn around. Nor did he plan to continue the relationship with Qin. Meditate again. Looking at Lu Zhou's cold expression, Qin Xiaoxiao felt heartbroken. In the past, Lu Zhou was always close to her. He had never been as cold as he was now. As if he was a strange stranger. Qin Xiaoxiao was flooded with water. Her eyes were full of warmth in her heart. Shen Lemeng was like a cold rose, looking at Qin Xiaoshen with an indifferent look. Qin Xiaoxiao was chased away. She took a deep breath. Didn't burst into anger at Lu Zhou, but just said that, take a break. Tomorrow, I will visit you again. She suppressed her tears and greeted her directly. Tried to be resilient, left the room and looked at Lu Zhou's figure. Qin Xiaoshen left the furnace and suddenly felt a sharp pain. He bit Zhang Han tightly. Although Lu Zhou had decided to let go, Qin was short-sighted, but he still couldn't be completely insensitive when he met her. No matter how much he couldn't help but still suppress it in his heart. In the moment when Lu Zhou was lost in thought, he noticed that Shen Lemeng's body began to stagger. It was obvious that she couldn't stand up. She had to cling to the bed to be able to stand upright. Her body was so weak that it made others sympathize with her white shoulders and delicate collarbones. But it made people feel heartbroken. Lu Zhou looked at her with pity. Why did Lu Zhou want to move his hand? He was still inserting the infusion needle, which made Shen Lemeng immediately worried. She shouted softly, "Don't move." Lu Zhou immediately stiffened, listened to her words again, and didn't move anymore. "I'm okay. It's just missing a little blood." Shen Lemeng smiled at Lu Zhou. "Why is there anemia?" Lu Zhou straightened up. "Anyway, Shen Le Dream is currently pregnant with brother, naturally worried about her health." Shen Lemeng smiled and reassured him that it was okay. "It's normal for me to replenish my blood. I told the person who made the red apple longan soup later. They will bring it to you. Hide the blood transfusion. I don't want Lu Zhou to worry about going home. I'll cook pigeon soup for you. I cook a very delicious soup." Lu Chao smiled at Shen Lemeng. Shen Lemeng's eyes were gentle. "I will wait for you." Chao was curious to ask those people why did they corner Shen Lemeng when he heard him mention it, and said very simply, because she wanted to steal the talent and win the Motri. She paused for a moment and then continued. "It was just because she had separated from the father of one of them. They resented me and decided to kidnap me to ask for tens of money. But I'm sorry for you. I'm hurt. I'm going to get justice for you. Those guys. I won't spare anyone." When Shen Lemeng mentioned it, her eyes showed deep hatred. Lu Zhou knew that Shen Lemeng had measures. Very ruthless. Those guys will definitely not have a good lump this time. It seems that the years are heavy. But if you don't have it. He didn't know what terrible would happen when Shen Lemeng was taken away. What could those reckless people do? His ability is still too weak. But he will continue to train in training so that he never lets things go. Today, Lu Chao Camduan's gaze was steadfast, making the corners of Shen Lemeng's lips slightly curve. The power of I'm old enough. This time I'm protecting you and the child in our womb. She put her hand on her stomach. Her eyes sparkled. Steadfastness. I promise that there will not be a next time. I will not let Lu Zhou be in danger and will not let me fall into the trap of these predator. Meanwhile, at the Qin family's villa, the Qin family was waiting on the sofa. But he couldn't see Qin. Chen Xian appeared, his eyebrows furrowed tighter and tighter. As he was about to stand up, he suddenly heard the butler happy to cheer for the young lady. She came back, and then Cheng Jia, who seemed to see the hope that Mr. Lap immediately ran over and saw a young girl walking from outside the gate to her bare feet. A girl with tangled hair and ears in a delicate makeup. blurred by tears. She looked extremely sloppy with her pale face walked tired. Her feet were full of dirt. Her hands held her shoes. Cao Cao took off this image Cheng Jiahu had never seen before. He was very amazed. Meditating. How did you become like this? What happened, Trin? The family friend knew that he shouldn't blame Qin Chenxian too harshly. So he asked her gently. But her eyes. Qin Xiaoxiao was empty, and as soon as Cheng Yu touched her hand, she immediately felt uncomfortable. Don't touch it. Qin Chen Xiao immediately threw his hand away from the family friend in his heart full of anger. Qin Xiao Thien didn't answer the phone for him to climb the tree, which made him lose face in front of his parents. He was already very annoyed. Now his attitude is cold. Qin Xiaoxiao's contempt made Cheng Jiayu feel depressed to the extreme. He tried to suppress his anger, but his voice said that he was still full of unhappiness. What happened to you in the end? I didn't answer the phone and didn't tell you where I was going. Know that we are very worried about you. You are my boyfriend. Didn't you say that you would meet your parents today? Have you forgotten? The lead that has accumulated for a long time in Qin Chenxiao's heart suddenly exploded. I don't forget today. I don't. I'm sorry. But what else do you want me? Kneel down and beg me for forgiveness. I'm so tired I don't do it. Can you bother me? Qin Chenxiao completely collapsed after being rejected by Lu Zhou. Her mood was already very bad. Listening to Cheng Jiao's reproaches, she like a volcano erupting, pouring out all the negative emotions outside. Cheng Jiahu was about to say something, but Chen Chen immediately picked up the pillow on the sofa and threw it directly at him, and saw Chen lose control. Cheng Jiahu hurriedly tried to stay calm. Brother, don't be angry. Actually, I'm afraid that if I let Chen be short-sighted, get angry and throw something heavier, then you could get hurt. It wouldn't be good at all. Even more scary if she was so angry that she demanded it. Farewell. All his plans will fall apart. Trin Rahu is like a wolf with a hanging tail, quietly retreating to look at the house. Empty. All the warmth in Qin Xiaoxiao's heart exploded. She fell to the ground, curled up with her face in her arms. And, seeing Qin Shenxian crying to the point of breaking his intestines, the butler felt extremely sorry for Mrs. Lin and comforted him. Miss, what's wrong with you? Let me take you to take a shower. You're very dirty. I'll take a shower. Feeling more comfortable, Qin Chenxian hugged the manager and cried warmly. Wang mother, hoo. What should I do? Lu Zhou doesn't pay attention to me anymore. I don't know what to do. Listening to Qin Xiaoxiao tell me about the head and tail. The fact that the housekeeper only sighed. Young lady, she had fallen into love. And she meant that she was a child. Like him. But what else if you don't like it? Why are you sad? Because he's still crying for him too. The housekeeper gently wiped Qin Chen's tears. She thought that Cheng Jiawei was very important before. She always put him first. But did she realize that now because of Lu Zhou, she has broken a lot of rules even? Still angry with Cheng Jiawei, who had no heart, Qin Chenxian suddenly trembled, and every word of the butler touched. Her heart now realized that she had secretly liked Lu Zhou for a long time. It was just that she didn't realize it before and didn't. I want to admit that I think I like him. But you and him can't be together. Tears sparkle in Qin Xiao's eyes. Xiao's son and he are two people from two different worlds. He has been integrating into my world very hard. The crying has stopped for the sake of you. But now he has turned his back on you. And then the housekeeper is light, gently stroking Qin Shi Chen's face. Then you should blend into his world. Why must only men try? Women can't. There is nothing to be ashamed of. Only those who take advantage of their loved ones are. The despicable person means that you should pursue him. Qin Chen Zhen was surprised and looked at the manager. Raya the butler replied softly, yes. As long as you want me to believe that the love you are looking forward to will return to Qin Chen Xiao awkwardly said, if you take the initiative to pursue him, will he value you? Will he think you are an easy person? Moreover, now that I am still Cheng Jiahu's girlfriend, I think that I am still Cheng Jiahu's girlfriend. Long Tan meditation suddenly became heavy. I didn't know what I should do anymore. I was so tired. I knew I owed it. He suffered for me. If I left him callously, what would people say about me? The pain that made Qin short-sighted burst into a cry of pain. She bit her lip so tightly that she almost bled. Extreme pain was both humiliating and tearing the butler apart. Seeing the mistress she had raised suffering from mental torment, she felt very heartbroken. She grabbed Qin's shoulder. Xiao gently put her head on her forehead. She said, Miss, I don't want you to be bound by morality. Much less want to. She regretted it later. She thought that living with Cheng Jiahu would make her happy. Why did the butler say deeply? I hope you will make the right decision so that you don't have to regret it for the rest of your life. Married, and she didn't want to see her beloved mistress follow the old path of Mrs. Qin Xiaoxiao looking at. The butler's heartbroken gaze was a little understanding in the end. He still nodded that evening to Lu Zhou. It was a hard night to sleep. The wound on his back was healing. Itchy and sharp. Lu Chao often couldn't stand it and stretched out his hand to scratch. But then scratched to the point that the flesh was torn when Lu Zhou bit her teeth. The pain of tearing the flesh he recognized a shadow. Stepping in from outside, she quickly held Lu Zhou's scratching hands tightly and in her brother's surprised gaze. Pressing his hand down in front of her chest. Don't scratch, her soft body pressed against him, which was different from his solid body, making her look even weaker. The sound of heavy breathing sounded in his ears under the dim light of the Lu Zhou bedside lamp. Seeing Shenle Mengchan's tense face, she was bored. She was covered with sweat, but her eyes were extremely gentle. A light breeze wanted to envelop you. Lu Zhou's voice was hoarse. You haven't slept yet. It's true that the night owl is so stubborn. You are the first person to dare to call me like that. I let go of being called a cat owl, and Shenle Meng's voice had a hint of laughter. Blaming Lu Chao, on the contrary, was a little pampered, her hands held tightly. Lu Chao's wrist was not too strong, but it was enough to restraining brother. Lu Chao felt that she couldn't bear to hurt the pregnant woman. Aren't you always sleepy? Moreover, I gave you a nickname. I didn't kill you to cover your mouth, right? I want to save my life to see what my child looks like. So I should set an example for him to see that his mother lives in a disciplined way instead of pull him up late. Otherwise he will learn the habit of staying up late while Lu Chao teases Shenle. Dream replied like a small fox with a name. Now I don't even know where it is, a day or 2 nights. How? Knowing that his mother likes to stay up late. The great lady of the Shen family is so famous. But she also likes to be disgusting, right? I'm so uncomfortable. I'll call the doctor. Shenle Meng's eyes are as gentle as water, exuding concern for Lu Chao. The doctor is off shift now, and I can call them back to do me. Why don't you use power and power? Especially because you like to use Shenle Meng very much. Seems authoritarian, but she has a principle that not everyone can make her use her privilege, only Lu Zhou. It was especially obvious that the two only had a contractual relationship. But she couldn't stop wanting to take care of him. She didn't know that, due to the influence of the child in the womb or hormones in the body after all. There is scientific research that suggests that any man who makes you pregnant will be soft on that person even if he uses technology. Shenle Meng currently still can't break this rule. She pays more and more attention to Lu Zhou this time, and even breaks the rules when she decides to stay sick. In the VIP room, she didn't go home just to take care of him. She knew that Lu Zhou would feel uncomfortable at night. So she come here to see the situation. No need, even if the doctor comes. You will still be itchy. No need to bother him, Lu Chao said softly. As a result, Shenle Meng hugged him tighter, her small face buried in his chest, making him muse. I heard her whispering softly. So I'm here with brother. Lu Zhou is very surprised. Shenle Meng replied, I can't sleep. I can borrow you to sleep. I can also borrow you to itch. Hearing her voice steadfastly, Lu Zhou laughed at me. I'm sure you'll be able to sleep here. I'm sure you'll make me itch. Sure, but 1 + 1 is bigger than 2. Our existence must have a reason. Shenle Meng's eyes were shining. Took Lu Chao's hand and said that if you are in pain, you can just scratch me. I can bear the pain. Moreover, I am also the type of person who is not easy to leave green scars. Zhou was stunned. I want you to scratch me. Isn't this self-abuse? Then I heard Shen's clear voice. Le Mong, you are a very gentle person. I won't be able to hurt you in the end. Understanding what she meant, she believed that he wouldn't hurt her. So she wasn't afraid. But you're right, you can't hurt you. You have a personality that pleases others. You are always pitiful people. The most in this world to hurt themselves. Not to hurt others. To sleep. Going to sleep well, Lu Zhou gently coaxed her. He felt that she nodded slightly in his arms, of course. Both of them didn't fall asleep right away. But as long as they didn't say anything more, they could still feel each other's breath. The scent of orchids faintly on her body seems to be more effective than sedatives. They are not lovers, but they make up for each other's compensation because he didn't dare to touch her. So his body stiffened. He didn't dare to move. He was afraid, so he didn't dare to do it either. Scratching around. And she was a person who was easily reassured. I didn't know if it was because his arms were too warm or if she was really sad. Sleeping gradually. The sound of steady breathing sounded in the room. Looking down at Lu Zhou, he saw Shen Lemeng's sleeping face was indeed like a beautiful watercolor painting. His breathing was gentle and his sleeping figure was extremely obedient. The little girl snuggled in his arms. Not the one who felt safe. Her small hand grasped the edge of the blanket. Even in the dream her eyebrows are still tightly wrinkled. Cute, strange, clearly. This word didn't suit her. But at this time, using that word to describe her was extremely accurate. Lu Zhou felt that she was really so small and cute that others want to love. True, at least when Lu Chao sees Miss Anne. Unstoppable. The desire to protect her said that she was not excited. It was a fake puppet. And Lu Zhou's heart was pounding like a small drum. However, as her breathing gradually became lighter, the atmosphere must have been quiet. Uncontrollably, he fell asleep early in the morning. When Lu Zhou woke up, he realized that he and Shen Lemeng were in a position very intimate. Ms. Wang's soft hair was slightly in the hollow of his neck. His small face resting on his shoulder with a full look. Her seductive sexy body dependence pressed against his chest. If he wasn't an integrity person, probably now already had a reaction anyway. Who could hold such a beautiful beauty with such a slender waist and long legs in the morning? Still sleeping in his arms, Lu Zhou couldn't help but look gentle in his eyes as he looked at her fur. Shen Lemeng's eyelashes trembled slightly, and his dreamy eyes opened to sparkle with a gentle light. He woke up, and Shen Lemeng gently said. Lu Zhou nodded good morning. She wanted to sit up, but suddenly felt it hurts so slightly. Lu Zhou noticed that. He asked me to put it on my hair, and then examined. Lemeng didn't blame her. On the contrary, there was a hint of laughter in her voice and reluctantly met her beautiful wet eyes. Lu Zhou was a little embarrassed. Very shy. Sorry, I didn't pay attention to Lu Zhou. Carefully removing the hairs that he was pressed on, he found that a few strands of hair had been wrapped in the button of his shirt. Wrapped quite tightly. If he didn't know what happened last night, Lu Zhou would definitely think that there was a wild night. Otherwise, how could it have turned out like this in a moment? Lu Zhou felt his body heat up as her hair brushed over his shirt. He was a little surprised, but realized Shen Lemeng's face was also flushed. She was afraid that Lu Zhou would misunderstand, and immediately explained, "Don't think miscellaneously, I'm just removing my hair." Her soft fingers grabbed the buttons of Lu Zhou's shirt, slowly removing them one by one. Lu Zhou felt Lu Zhou's breath. "I've become heavy and I'm really confused. After all, I've never had to take off my shirt in front of any other girl, especially in front of a great beauty like this. It is difficult not to feel embarrassed." His legs also became awkward when he participated in helping. Unexpectedly, as soon as he touched Shen Lemeng's hand, he felt like he was burned, and hurriedly withdrew his hand. Clumsily, Shen Lemeng laughed out loud seeing her laugh. Lu Zhou didn't understand what's wrong. Shen Lemeng just laughed and explained, "I feel like I'm doing something wrong with you. I'm more sensitive than I thought I was being." Shen Le. Dreaming of saying this, Lu Zhou feeling thirsty. His neck was dry and he couldn't stop licking his lips. He was not sensitive. It was just a natural reaction. "I'm afraid you're taking advantage of me. I slept with you last night. And I'm afraid you're taking advantage of." Shen's natural words. Lemeng made Lu Chao's heart pound. If it weren't for the fact that he knew what happened last night, he almost believed his words. She saw Lu Zhou blush. The smile on Shen Lemeng's face deepened. "I mean, if I slept soundly last night and I wanted to take advantage of it, I would have done it a long time ago. Last night, I was still sleeping with you. I thought I could still defeat a wounded person." Listening to Shen Lemeng's firm voice, Lu Zhou hummed softly, "So I look down on you. And then you have muscles. And you have studied martial arts again. I'm not an opponent. Where is yours? I'm going to hit you." Shen Lemeng looked at Lu Zhou defiantly. Lu Zhou hurriedly shook his head. "Brother, there is a principle that you don't hit daughter." The smile on Shen Lemeng's lips is even brighter than I know. "That's why I said you can defeat him." Hearing Shen Lemeng Lu's teasing tone, Lu Zhou feels even more like a pet of she and Shen Lemeng, like her master, just swung the toy stick and he was swept away by Lu Chao. Coughed softly. "English, go wash your face here." I tried to sit up but hissed because the pain was too painful from the teasing appearance just now. Shen Lemeng immediately became worried. She said to Lu Zhou, "After all, he was slashed, and the first few days will hurt a little. Let me help you go." Lu Zhou was surprised to realize that Shen Lemeng was very attentive. She walked, "Get off the bed first. Then help him get the slippers. And then put it on for me." Let's go. Lu Zhou reluctantly agreed anyway. She is also a pregnant woman and a rich lady, but Shen Lemeng looked at me 100 times and resolutely listened to me otherwise. I will do it strongly. Knowing Shen Li's style, Lu Chao immediately followed her so that she could help her in the defense. Lu Chao didn't expect that she knew how to take care of others so much. From helping him get toothpaste to researching. Save the strawberry razor carefully. This blade is quite sharp even if it is due to manual shaving. Lu Zhou was still worried that her smooth hand would be cut off. Shen Lemeng reprimanded lightly. She was not a child anymore. Studying intently, the long narrow eyes narrowed slightly. It was the same as our eyebrow razor. Maybe you will quickly. I'm used to listening to Shen Lemeng, said Lu Chao, couldn't help but feel his heart pounding. I don't plan to use you as a white snack. But Shen Lemeng suddenly reached out and touched Lu Zhou's chin. Lu Zhou's breathing immediately stopped when he saw the fairy. Qiu Diem in front of him carried a little mischief. Waiting until his daughter-in-law was longer. Now this short is not enough to do anything. Miss, do you know that I just said words full of implications? Lu Zhou almost thought of the wrong way after washing his face. After Shen Lemeng was about to lead Lu Zhou out. But Lu Zhou stood still. His face flushed. Waiting for a while. He waited for a while. I want to go to the toilet, I don't plan to help. But Lu Zhou glanced at her and saw that her beautiful face was flushed to hide embarrassment and embarrassment. She hurriedly scratched her neck. Can you wait outside the door? I was injured in the back. Not that place. Lu Zhou smiled bitterly. So I will wait outside. Shen Lemeng quickly walked outside. The red face of Lu Zhou could. It was easy to see that her blushing skin was like a bright red rose petal when Lu Zhou was in the toilet door. Suddenly she was hit hard by Shen Lemeng and stopped her urgent call. Up from outside Lu Zhou. Feeling the whole person is tense. You are going to the toilet. Could have stopped right away. But it seemed that Shen Lemeng had something urgent to tell him. Lu Chao asked with a suspicious look. You don't need it anymore. And his voice is a little embarrassed. This made Lu Zhou wonder even more what was the matter after all. Shen Lemeng's reaction just now seemed to be very urgent. She obviously knocked on the door to tell him something. But now she said that she didn't need it anymore. Lu Zhou frowned incomprehensibly after. Zipped up her pants. Lu Zhou walked out and saw her leaning against the door frame. Her eyes looked at him with ears red as shrimp. The red lips were bitten slightly, no longer the appearance of a cold goddess. Every day Lu Zhou looked at Shen Lemeng with a confused look on. What you mean? Shen Lemeng kept smoothing the wrinkles on her skirt. She was a little embarrassed. The eyes blinked quickly continuously. Actually, I just want to remind you that I accidentally turned on the transparent glass mode outside. I can seeing his every action inside. After hearing Shen Li's reminder, Lu Zhou's whole body collapsed. He immediately running out behind. He also heard Shen Lemeng's worried call. A little careful. Lu Zhou really saw. In the hospital room, the glass in the bathroom is completely transparent. There is no privacy at all. Everything can be clearly seen. People do in it. Oh my god. The name of the designer. I came up with this game here for you to fight for a battle. I've heard that some lovers' hotels have a design. Hey, but the hospital VIP room also has such a design. When Lu Zhou is doubting his life, his face is clear. Shen Lemeng's escape and charm suddenly appeared in some parts of his understanding. He was sure that they were afraid that the patients in them would have problems. So they designed it like this. But he accidentally touched it. Just pressed the switch. So Shen Lemeng's ambiguous words made Lu Zhou clearly understand what she meant to Lu Zhou. Just funny and confused. An embarrassing situation like this can also happen to Mr. Mei without him taking off his pants. Just zipping his back and turning his back. Otherwise his buttocks would have been completely exposed in front of Shen Lemeng's eyes. It's true that a social death cough. Next time he will pay attention to Lu Zhou trying to show gently to dispel the embarrassed atmosphere. Fortunately, Shen Lemeng hadn't gone to the toilet yet. If he saw Shen Le dream laughing, Lu Chao's mind buzzed. He didn't dare to think about it anymore, otherwise thousands. The love story of 18 would rush into his head immediately at that moment. A sweet voice sounded from outside. Lu Zuzhou was surprised to see Qin Chen Chen carrying a bunch of things into him. He was almost stupid to know that he had never seen Qin Shenqian carry such a heavy load by herself. And now she came without warning. Why did you come so early? Lu Zhou was surprised to come early. Isn't it good so I can stay with him for longer? Qin Xian's lips curled up slightly into a smile. She took out a portion of sal from the thermos bag. Vegetables and cakes. Chicken breast. a bowl of yogurt and a thermos. She smiled brightly and looked at Lu Zhou. I brought breakfast to you. There are many more people who cook beef soup for me because I haven't fully recovered these days. I shouldn't eat anything that is too greasy. Eat and drink lightly. Qin Chen was a little affectionate. He said, you know, I don't know how to cook. I'm afraid cooking doesn't hurt me. My stomach makes my illness worse, but it's okay. I'll learn when I finish studying. The first person I cook is you. Your voice is very cheerful and gentle. Lu Zhou completely unexpectedly. Qin Xiaoxiao would come to bring him breakfast during the past 5 years. It's not that she doesn't care about him, but most of the time it's just a word of concern through her mouth. Sometimes she visits him and comforts him a few words. But she has never done everything like this with her own hands. Qin Xiaoxiao has always been a pampered young lady. There are always other people cooking for her. Since when would she want to cook for others? If Lu Zhou had heard about it before? Hey, he would definitely think that Qin Xiao was joking. But now Qin Xiaoxiao's face was extremely serious. Lu Zhou was a little confused and said, don't bother me, Qin Xiaoxiao. I don't like Lu Chao. The guest of the flute. Ko note is sad and smiling, saying it's just a small thing. I'm sick. I won't come. Taking care of you is too much. I used to always take care of you. Now I can't leave you heartlessly in my heart. Lu Zhou felt that it was very difficult to describe. He didn't know how to express it. He just felt a little strange. Not very familiar. Obviously this is something he's been looking forward to for a long time. But when it actually happens, it makes him uncomfortable. Shen Lemeng was afraid that Miss Qin's kindness would be wasted. And I had prepared a nutritious meal for him. According to the doctor's instructions, this meal has a good effect on scar healing, if you eat what you bring with you. Not only is it not enough nutrition, but it can also cause keloid scars. On the smile on Qin Xiao's lips gradually disappeared. It's okay. It can't be eaten with. It's better to have more options. Isn't it? She smiled brightly and looked at Lu Zhuzhou, bowing her head and talking softly. It's not good to waste it in the future. Qin Xiaoxiao can see that Lu Zhou is pushing her to the bar. In her lap. Neither committed nor unacceptable. It is clear that the two of them used to be very close before. Why are they now back? So as strange as strangers. Tears rose in Qin Chen's eyes. And his heart seemed to be torn. But she tried not to let her emotions show out. Otherwise, in front of Shen Lemeng, she would become inferior. I listen to you. Wait for me to get better. I'll cook the dishes I like for you. Frankly, try to keep your voice. Gently comforting Lu Chao. She took out from her pocket a stone lotus pot of Da Lu Chao. Very surprised to see the stone lotus pot in Qin Xiaoxiao's hand brought to the hospital. He thought he would be moved. But now, is it very calm? Is it very familiar? This is the stone lotus pot that I bought for you before. I brought it first. It has brought me joy. Now I want to bring that joy to you. You have to get well quickly. Qin Xian. Chen smiled and said, actually, her heart was very scared. She realized that Lu Zhou was very cold. There was no expression of joy at all. But she didn't accept it. And resolutely put the potted plant in front of Lu. Xiaoan remembers. This is a jade ice stone lotus pot. We also named it cotton turtle because it looks lovely. At home, there are many other stone lotus pots such as red dragon sprinkled with peaches and small sugar peaches. All of them are named by us together. Every day I will bring a pot that can be pulled by Qin Xiao's words. Xiao returned to the past. He recalled the 5 years that had passed between himself and Qin Zen. Meditation every day is clear in his mind. Yes, he has done many stupid things. But it is extremely sweet. He was also a child. The same level of Chen named each potted plant, only now everything has changed. Time has passed too much. Quickly, they were no longer the last names of the previous day. Shen Lemeng's eyebrows furrowed slightly. And there was a little bitterness in his heart. Although Qin Xiaoxiao was talking about the past. Through the tacit reactions between Lu Zhou and her, it seemed that the past that Shen Lemeng didn't participate in, it still brought happy memories. Shen Lemeng felt like a person outside at this moment. There was a bit of fear in her heart, like the waves of the afternoon invasion that took her reason with her. Oh my God, in the hospital. There is no place for that much. Moreover, he is about to be discharged from the hospital. And Lu Zhou tried to suppress his feelings. Pain in her heart, calmly speaking to Qin Chen. Qin Chen's eyes became wet. Her heart ached to hear Lu Zhou's cold refusal. She still didn't give up. It's okay. Then I'll bring it back to your house. She glanced at it, looked at Shen Lemeng standing there, and then told Shen Lemeng that I have some things to say to him in private. Qin Xian. Xian couldn't hide the hostility in his eyes, clearly implicitly saying that Shen Lemeng's presence was inappropriate. Shen Lemeng was like a flower. Pink-White just stood silently in the corner of the room, her long eyes still staring deeply at Lu Zhou, not caring about Qin. Chen Xiao seemed to be waiting for Lu Zhou to speak. I went out first. I will solve everything by Shen Lemeng. Nodding, she trusted Lu Zhou very much, and then walked out when only Qin Xiaoxiao and Lu Zhou Qin were left in the room. Xiaoxiao tried to be cheerful and friendly. She took out a few books from her bag, saying that these were comics that I used to like to read. I brought it all here from home. I remember you like to redraw pictures, so I also brought drawing paper. And the color we drew together. I didn't see Lu Zhou. Didn't show any emotions. Chen Chen still didn't give up. She, trying to put on a smile, pretending that nothing happened. We looked at what this was. What game controllers we had. Can play double games on TV like before. I always wonder why I always win now that I realize he is. It's that you deliberately let me win. I'm afraid that you will lose and then you will be angry. Right? I'm afraid you'll scold me and don't bother to talk with you. Right. That's why I always give in to you. It's okay now that I'm more patient. I'm no longer stubborn. As before. Can we play fairly? And what about this harmonica? Do you remember? Haha, this is music. The only old man I know how to play, and I can't even blow the song, although the old man used to mock me that I was deaf. Music is a deaf sound, yet every night I still deliberately stand outside the door of your room and blow the harmonica. I don't either. Why didn't you hit me at that time? Qin Xiaochen's eyes began to turn red. She stretched out her hand and said, today, give me the privilege. I can hit you as much as you want. But only 3 shots. 3 shots. And then I can counterattack when you. After speaking, the obvious scars on her wrists appeared in front of Lu Zhou and Qin Xiao's eyes. In Qin Chen's mind, Thien was full of memories with Lu Zhou. She said that when I harmed myself, I hugged you and forbid you. It hurts my body. My wrists are really painful. The stitches hurt even more. I don't know why I'm stupid. To the point of doing so, when I stitched the wound, I cried because of the pain. Even when injecting anesthesia, it was very painful, but the result was who? I cried even louder than you. Of course I secretly cried behind my back. I think I don't know why every time you leave the hospital room. Then turned to my eyes. I always crossbowed. I was also very stubborn. Did not expose me. And I always acted like nothing and told me, take medicine. You always carry candy with you. I really think you're a child thinking about it. I just want to coax you. Anytime and anywhere. Although she knew that you were a very difficult person. Qin Xian took out a package of candy from her pocket and looked at it. Chow with sincere and pleading eyes. Now it was the turn of this child who had eaten too much candy to coax him. Memories quickly appeared in Lu Zhou's mind. Every detail was as clear as yesterday. Not only Qin Xiao but also, even Lu Zhou couldn't forget the sweet and painful memories. All as if it had just happened. Thien used to be an arrogant and stubborn young lady. Ben has never given in to looking at anyone. Not getting angry with others is already very good. Because she now buys candy for me and saying such words. It's really a rare thing to meditate on me, and I'm not that close. No, I didn't say you were fake, and I never wanted to see you appear in front of me. Why? I broke my principles again. Lu Zhou's gaze became gloomy. I don't want to go back to the past again. Once I have, I won't follow the old path. Before I was a person who could be coaxed with candy, but now I have mature. He wants more than that. And that Qin Xiao can't give him. Qin Xiao's lips tremble slightly. White as paper. Heaven, those are the words you used to say. Words that are too cruel. The ring didn't leave any hope. She had ruthlessly told him, and how much he was in pain when he heard those words. Qin Xiao deeply regretted that it was she who pushed the boy who had always loved her, lifted her in her arms, and left. Qin Chen, bitterly hating his cold-blooded person in the past. Just hearing one sentence, she couldn't bear, yet how much he had to endure silently. No, I don't want you to leave. I'm not fake. It's all my fault. My temperament has changed. Often you have said too many angry words. Qin Xian sobbed as if she had just lost something extremely important to her. Begging Lu Zhou in pain. I regret it. It's okay. I'm very important to you. I'm not a stranger. Her glittering eyes were full of tears, as if carrying some kind of crisp greed. Lu Chaoying likes you. She waited, waiting to look at my lips intently, afraid that I would miss any words. The whole world knows that I like you only. I don't know. Lu Zhou laughed at himself, slightly lowered his eyes. He thought that love, yours, is very clear. I thought you knew for a long time. It's just that you pretended not to see it. That's right. We're just a relationship. At the same time, all the mistakes were made by me. How could I be so stupid that I liked my side A but everyone has the right to love me? I'm not alone, I've never thought about giving up my feelings for you. But it's hard to like someone